Okay. We'll call the extension committee meeting to order with the first order of business. Public related items on the agenda for comment. I see nobody in you have anybody on Zoom? Seeing no public, will go on to approve the minutes from the December 21st meeting of 2023.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we'll do the safety chair with Tom Orchard.
That would be me. Good morning, everyone. As we go into fall and we don't have daylight savings time yet, I'm finding I'm doing more stuff in the dark. It's all gone skateboarders and scooter electric wearing black make it just more difficult to drive because you got to watch out for them. So keep an eye on your driving. And then I think the next thing I'd like to just, and we talk to it all the time, is mental health. You know, now that we get darker, it's you don't get as much sunlight, and your whatever they are don't work right in your body. You know, try to find something good to think about every once in a while, because it's too easy to get sucked into what's going on in the whole world now. And if you can find something good, take a moment and appreciate it. It's really all I have for now. Anything else? Okay.
Yeah, I seem to recall that you are a retired person from We Energy.
I am.
And if I am not mistaken, last year you were giving recipe books. Is that going to happen again this year?
Recipes?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to try, but you see, after you haven't been there for 5 years, you lose a little bit of your contacts. I've been known to stick my head in where, and I don't know, if I do, you like one? Yeah, I'll see what I can. That has nothing to do with safety, but I'll take it for that. That's all I have.
Next, we got chairman's report that we myself. I'd just like to start off by introducing ourselves so everybody knows who's here on the team. I'm on the county board. I represent District 13.
Terry Howard, county board, and I represent District 25 for the West Region.
So we're going to make it right under the system for trustees. I'm at District 22 sitting in that.
You're not probably all in different. I was just on board number. I'm Winnebago and Winnebago for.
Hey, Corinne, I am county board supervisor for District 5. So Dodie Island and I guess over to John Street and to the lake and Dodie Street.
John Dable, Winnebago County Executive. I represent districts 1 through 36.
Carolyn Somersmith, director of the Winnebago Library.
Right, that's the director.
Lisa Voss, director of the Library.
Chris View, Area Extension Director for Winnebago County, also pretty well.
Amy Hendrickson, Administrative Associate for Winnebago Extension.
Tom Borchert, District 3 Upper Menasha, retired from the power company. And yeah, I just picked up the north end.
I'd like to thank the county exec for coming today and taking time out of the schedule to attend our meeting. I appreciate you being here today. And I don't know how many of you know that 2 more community campuses are closing. The Fond du Lac campus is closing in Washington County. I think that's the end of them. The state budget is like $6 million to repurpose, and then $2 million per campus. So I believe our campus is here. They're willing now to talk about redoing the MOU. So I think ours is here to stay. Hopefully enrollment goes up and we don't have any more negatives. And it continues. I think it's a great way for people to save some money to get a couple of years for the cheaper tuition and then move on to whatever university you wish to get your degree from. But hopefully they keep what we have. That Martin Rudd passed away. His funeral will be Friday. If anybody wants to attend, it will be up in Appleton. Well, you know, that's what I believe.
He's a good guy.
And you know, I think that he was job was the Vineland campus and the Manassas campus. And when they shut down the Vineland, I think it put pressure on him because I don't think he can keep his job. I mean, he's got to have his job. And now Chancellor Levitt's going to take over in his term and work through the. So I'm sure that way, I mean, not that it would have changed, he probably would have still had a heart attack, but I put a lot of stress on him. It's been going on for like a year. And, you know, it's like it keeps away a little bit on you every day. And, you know, you're 53 years old, you'd like to make a couple more years to retire, and you don't know if you're going to have a job. So it's just like, I felt bad for him, but, hopefully he's in a better place, and, you know, his pain and suffering is over, but I want to the family is concerned. Next, we'll go to the Winnebago Library System annual report.
Hello all. I'll just kick it off and then I'll really turn it over to the library and show you today. I just wanted to say that the current budget that is in the county executive budget, as you have seen hopefully, is very positive to libraries. We were encouraged by the county executive to ask for special funding, which we did, and that will be put to good use for programming and electronic resources, to ensure the libraries will highlight how important those are in increasing services. For context, that funding request, as most of you are sort of aware, but a little background is that it is to reimburse the libraries for service to rural residents, meaning people who live in the county, who use the library, who don't live in a municipality with support. The residents, we want to make sure that if you're using a library, your taxes go to the library that you use at the end of the day, and so that's sort of that reimbursement to match the county corporation with the it's going to be libraries are going to continue doing great things. Does anyone have any questions about the money aspect of it? Otherwise, I really just want to turn it over to librarians to highlight the good work that they're doing. You received the highlights, also that's a quick summary of everything that's happened in the past year. And also, I just wanted to quick say that Amanda O'Neill, the director of the Winnebago County Library, is elsewhere.
I do want to just mention real quick, when we had our first meeting with the Parks and Library, they came to me with a flat ask.
Yeah.
I kind of scolded them a little bit, and we had a good discussion. We talked about how important libraries are really to communities, and how they have been that navigator forever. They really are a good partner in us and services for people that need it most. And I was happy that they came back with, okay, here's really what we need.
Yes.
So that's it was a good collaborative relationship to really figure out how our tax levy and tax dollars best affect people. So I was grateful.
No, thank you very much for that. Really, that those special project funding will make a big difference. And because it was flat, you the formula. I would not know. I put a collaborative budget.
Understand.
Yeah. Okay.
So, I think I handed out a packet to almost everyone. I didn't get one to you. I've got more packets over here, but basically what I handed out was just our whole program guide, along with our, little 3D printed Yuga and, our slice of the month for this month. So our library has, in the last 2 years, has made some changes. A lot of libraries are doing the same thing, but we're starting the pivot over. And I keep saying away, but in it, I would say better in addition to. So libraries have always relied on, we get books, we get DVDs, we get materials, we push them out into the community as a way to kind of even the playing field for all of our community members that can't afford to go to the Barnes and Noble and just buy the stuff that they want to take in. In addition to that, our particular library has really doubled down in the last years since COVID to add in a lot of hands-on programming, hands-on learning opportunities. So we call it an ecosystem of learning. Our root system for it is our basic literacy skills. So basically from birth read to reading to learn. And then at that point, then we kind of offer the rest of the tree, which is the things that they're interested in learning. And the intangibles that come along with any interest, like art, engineering, robotics, demography, whatever, are the critical thinking, leadership, creativity, all those secondary skills that are important to the future. So those are the things we've been focusing on. We added a major space about a year and a half ago. Actually, one of the last, end of last March, we have had over 6,000 come through that space so far. In the time that we've been open, it's been a big success for us. The little sea marks came out of the major space. People come in all the time. Yes. Our goal is to introduce people to new technology, but more importantly, to get them interested in learning about new technologies and looking at ways that they can utilize them. Last year, at the end of last year, we were lucky enough to win the 2022 Innovative Program Award from this. And again, right now we just are continuing on that course. So far this year, it's paying off. We're at 30% increase year to date in library program attendance. That translates to people that have attended programs more than the last year's time. So right now, I think we're at 17,000 people have attended library programs. In a city of a little over, not quite 18,000 people, that's pretty good. And yeah, that's what we're hanging our hat these days. Any questions about our particular library or libraries in general?
I'd like to say that, Human Services, purchased new buildings, out there on Thompson Road and then up in Neenah. And I went over to the Menasha Library and the youth department had called any number of books and said, yes, you're welcome to these. And so I was able to collect like 12 boxes of books and took them over to Thompson Street. Not all of those, but yeah, just so that we all understand, our libraries do cull books because they're getting new ones all the time. And we can, if we have a use for those books that are culled, we can go and be beggars and actually get those books out to people who might not have access to books. So
and then actually in the next week, March the library will sale. But I guess our take, and again, I can always speak for our library, is we do and we utilize the but they're not huge. And I would rather, especially with the organizations that we partner with, I'm not going to those materials all the time that I know just to have them utilize more important. In all honesty, materials, we try to get them out to the community. Some of them are going to
I used to do it full time. I was doing it in the parking lot one day at the most part, and they literally came out with boxes of books and threw it right across. You know, rather than donating them to somebody where you could have actually used them, they just threw them away. You know, price tags on them, $29, you know, and they could have cared less. They didn't sell, they just had on their shelf and taking up space. In the dumpster they went. So I commend you for actually, you know, giving books away that basically other people can use. And if you have some that are you can sell to the community, that's great, you know.
So thank you.
And I will say book sales and well, a different library getting different amounts, they can be a very important revenue source and additional hardware being you don't have Nicole or anyone that you have. So. Yeah.
This summer, we funded all of it. Certainly small. We have a big. For what. Same here, all of our programming is, paid for by, like, materials and stuff like that. Everything else. We bill our, annual sale plus our book sales, and we get about. Through all the sales, this house. So, but then we also have, we support that through library, like, criminal accounting, building, laws. Will departments to support their free library with the work that they use, maybe for the girls club, for there's another one, there's a different one, and we go, we got, so we have to buy the amount as much.
And with the current budget as we funded it, Nicole would not have to rely entirely on donations for her.
And just to add on to that, I think one of the challenges, and maybe this is a pet peeve for me, but our circulation is not what it used to be. Our programming is going crazy, our circulation has been really flat. The way most of the formulas work out, a lot of emphasis is placed on that circulation piece, but I would argue that the programming needs to know actually just as important. And at least for, even lucky in our municipality, have moved some of our program funding into our national library budget. We're one of the outliers. Most libraries have to rely on the programming, even though I argue on that programming is why having extra money for the project fund is important.
And I would just like to say, you can hear clearly by this discussion how every library is different. Every library has their different needs and different challenges. Smaller libraries have a little bit harder challenge sometimes, not the bigger libraries don't. You have just unique different challenges. And I really appreciate how they're all kind of working together on some of this programming in the HERD partnership. I think that was a little harder to understand first year, but we understand now it's how we get some of these bigger organizations out to these rural areas to kind of get engagement, because really it's the programs are the most important piece right now. You got all these kids that went through the social isolation for a few years. And that is, these are big, you're talking about mental health, these are big challenges that we need to overcome in the next couple of years. So that connectivity for them to be able to come in and meet other students and meet other kids and print little dinosaurs is really how we address that, how we go after that, how we bring people together. And libraries really are that focal point in some of these communities where that happens. So I really appreciate it.
We want to, Nicole, do you want to highlight a little bit of story time? Because I think that really goes well with budget.
Sure.
And then we'll go back to this and talk a little bit about social services, additional stuff.
So I think I brought just a few things. Okay. I feel like I can't see everybody, but so we are very focused on keeping books in hand as well as programming. So this is one of our press pages today. So we have over 300 students that every month they get a bag, and it has an activity in it. Has something that they can take on the at home, and then also kids love food. And then it gets free books. They get free books. And so kids, the minute you come out, the library families are just flooding in, they're grabbing all their bags and then going home. So it's like an easy way to get books in kids' hands, and hopefully ones that they haven't read before. Because Fresh Pages is so popular, we started one for adults. So it's called Bookscription. We have about 170 adults who every month get a box of books based off of their reading process. Like people are so busy they may not have time to come into the library. see what they want to read next. And we introduce them to new authors. They also get a little treat. And that was just replace, you know. So again, people are just flooding in, like, oh, my boss is here, and they like sometimes can't wait till they get into the party, see what like that. Like happy. So it's very fun. We've also been focusing a lot on play. With kids and stories, we have quite a few stories, but also play. Oftentimes kids are with like the little, they need to be able to interact with not technology, and so our focus has been getting with that under 5. So we have something called box cards, and so they check these out when they're in the library, and they take us to a table or to the same table to go. And like this is the doctor kit, and so they get to learn all the different body parts and kind of display doctor. They have science ones, Lego ones, cooking tea party, and they're so fun to see the community like look at check out, and then they check it out within the library and then print it out. We also have playing rooms where they get to take it home. We have everything from nature to telescope to telescope, so they can also check those out along with taking credit. So we used to have something called Rescue Mondays in the library, but then COVID, we couldn't have these together. So we switched to taking credit for this is now take it home, do it, and make a craft with a science kit, discovery kit, our story time, and one of my favorite story times now is that we're going to do that. And we're doing so residents that are around here, we've got nursing homes, assisted living, and then families come in, and we do a traditional story time where we start and get out the parachute and I do this one with something from the department, and then the residents have been on to academics, she's got kind of comes in, and throughout the week, she now makes sure that we're doing it out. And she comes in that we keep an interact and get the pushy balls over the start, and she's able to hang on to the parachute as a little kid's running over it, and she's smiling really when she first started kind of quiet, kind of in herself, and wonderful. Plus we have everything up for programming. We now have modeling every Wednesday. We now have spine on the table because we have 4 groups coming, and people came in and they did it and know each other, and now they become friends. And if somebody doesn't stop, everybody's like, really, this person, no, I don't know how to do so call them, and so they reached out to make sure that they're, you know. So the library for reading is trying to create community from babies, like introducing moms to others, and to other kids, all up to the lab, you know, making sure that they still have it. That's just a quick one.
Just want to pass on the mahjong, happens every Wednesday, just so we all know. Betsy Ellenberger is one of the people who's teaching the mahjong.
Yes.
So another. So
I think too with the technology, people don't even talk anymore. You could be in the same room and they'll send me a text. They could just simply talk to me, but they'd rather send me a text. The interaction between people is getting lost because everything is, well, I'll just text them, I'll just text them. It's not that hard, you know. I mean, if we're watching a football game together, you know, talk, you know. I mean, it's not that important that I'm gonna miss something, you know. So, like, I couldn't even believe it. All of a sudden I get a text. It's like, you're sitting right next to me. You can't even talk.
And we still have everything. So,
I think it's good that you're actually having communication with people versus technology. Technology's taking over, people actually not communicating. You go out to eat and you look at a family at the table, and they're all on their phone. I mean, when I was a kid, we grew up, we talked at the table, how was your day, you know? We didn't sit on our phone and eat and, you know, but the world's changing and it's not always for the best. And you have mental health problems because they don't talk no more. You know, it's like if they have a bad day at school, you want somebody to say, well, that's all right, you know, we'll get through it. But you don't hardly see the conversations like we used to have, so it's good that you got people actually communicating. It's beginning to be a lost art.
For sure. Make their.
One more thing about the Nina Library, and that is, monthly, I get, an email update on the new books. And about 4 librarians come up with 4 of their favorite books that have arrived, and they'll give a quick synopsis of what the story is or the book is about. And I think that's super, and I can't believe that Nina is the only one who's utilizing that. It just happens to be that I only get the email.
with the, community. We've always done these different differences, more about listening to what the community needs, connecting people with the resources that we have, certainly in our regular hours of teaching. And different experiences. We want to see it. So people can come in and ask, this question about books, they talk about, so we have to use our resources. Maybe that's certainly a way to interact with you. And this is a way to interact with us. But if you're doing it, so we can show them how to write it. Grow. Because of some regular hours that we're making, someone has to be talking to her about the inside and what they do is fun. Or we have a name. So the whole first one, that's the motto of the facility, and they're even everyone having fun, connecting with each other, doing something active. That was all because she said all the time, and she used her research. So that's something that we need to continue to do better. We have no problem. Trying to listen to what the community needs that we might have realized.
For the last probably 4 or 5 years, and I would have liked to see the bookmobile come back to Southside Library. I mean, when I was growing up, I could walk to the library. I lived in the inner city. That's where most people in downtown. Everything left there. Everything's now off by the front. And kids that are going to Carl Tracker and all in West Haven, they can't walk to the library. And their parents have to work because they basically got a big house payment, and they got kids in daycare. That's $26,000 a year. So the kids don't have access to the library other than the school library. So you would think with all this ARPA money that they could find enough money to buy you a bookmobile and out into the community a couple of days a week. So young kids that are 6, 8, 9 years old would have the opportunity to go down there and get a book and once a week exchange it so that they can get the knowledge of reading. Because everything today is on the phone or on an iPad. I mean, you can give a 4-year-old kid an iPad and he'll do more than I can, but I'd rather see it basically enhances learning by a book. It's just something that an encyclopedia, you don't even see them anymore,
Well, and we have, we are working on those partnerships, some sort of local library. We do have, concept libraries. We will be sharing these, we're able to get back and forth. Who said exactly that? Book clubs for kids. I'm already for the last couple of years. But really, if you're going to understand that, you can have money. So this librarian is going to use for the class and basically doing both of them. So there are
But
oftentimes, libraries provide services that aren't necessarily official services. For people experiencing homelessness. So opening the State Street Center, the resource we can direct people to are we doing an appropriate job of sharing the load with some of these people?
That's just an ever evolving situation, what that's something that we know is done a lot. creating and managing our environment so that in welcome to reduce the library. So always good to have that, always respected our money that we use part of something called the city library collecting those use with to give them some sort of social service skills to connect with people and that's how to
Thank you. When neighborhoods put up a new library, do they notify them on there or do you all, if you're driving around, take note of where they are or do you contact people?
Yes, we pay attention to this, we did, you could watch the community library pop up, and I think we did very, still on to the new one, and bring the libraries to come, at least once a year, at each place, to refresh this time. So that we've got, we've had a lot of, we did a lot of things. Of course, and we want to support that because we want people to do multiple things. We want to do it all. So, I think it's ways to realize it. A lot of them do have to do libraries. So we're, again, it's a connection with people where they live. We can live that. So we are obviously a much smaller district practically what we see that we feel. Work the bigger libraries to and I just took over this this desk this is a community and figuring out that I can and this must be the I think already in addition to all the business that we offer. I've been looking like master plans design buildings and up and running as a team and topics with they're going to continue to help take care of them funding and do it very we also started a new program in the summer with libraries who have food buyers and and then the donors and we also the 60 programs and some of the and basically what we did is we offered for community members as well as individuals to come in and help with the garden, help us with the garden and make the things personally go to all the food pantries they like to work and so they can keep it in the garden and make it a story and use it again. So we were making the experience much and putting in voice and girls and we're going to continue that next year. They want really and it ended up being common expense to make it super but we're looking forward to growing that also important to know that the women that are local business is, we have a company that is doing over the year, we are doing a work from the kitchen. Yes, we just had a face something where it was a new last week, and we did have 18 people spot, but that's the people that need it. And tonight we're having our second there, so a little bit. They don't have an email station, so I think that we also piggyback on those book days, and we also do third one.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've got a couple of things down, well, no, one thing specifically. We were talking about the lack of sunlight in the wintertime. I'm just wondering, can libraries put those special lights in specific rooms so that you do get that vitamin D?
Really, I made those collection of things, you know, having to put on the gardens and chickens and registers and woodlands and. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's never, I have a collection of not books and not, movies and call library and things. And the stress of, Winnebago right now is to make those more and more accessible to patrons and more stuff. So keep your eyes out for changes to the catalog and how newsletters and libraries and so that you can know how letters.
I just want to maybe go in line with what you said. But, you know, we're always talking about that is required student programs and other student educators that are targeting these libraries. So that's the Gardner is an accessibility program supported by that program. And then our food wise program is our supplemental nutrition assistance program providing elevation education to those who have limited resources. So it's awesome. I think it's great because that's extension wide, and we have found that great partners because the extensions and the libraries mission and vision are in many cases similar. However, there are similarities, but there's not often duplication. So they can utilize talents and services of each other and magnify it. So I just wanted to place that reminder for those that might be
crack in the brain a little bit, bring that one more.
And I just want to say this, too. The library budget are real. The portion of that is that they are well supported financially by the municipality and by the county agreement that we have currently is unusual in its sense. None of the libraries do that. I certainly, in my role, work with 4 other counties, in fact, it's my 4th county budget, and I just love that there is no stress that comes with it. Certainly the library is advocates for the citizens, but we know that we're almost in a situation of that outreach, but all these additional things that people are.
To this group, so I have just noticed as you know, and I said director, but I feel like we need to know that someone free, it's just it's been a fun to be involved with this and the cooperation.
I'd just like to thank you. As I spoke to earlier, you know, you have to have something positive. Well, this has been positive. I think one of the challenges that everybody has is you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Challenges is it's out there. How do you get people to come in the door? And with all the meetings I get to go to, this is very positive. One, and it's not only with you, but the other entities involved in extension, they are doing good. And it's our problem all started when we quit putting porches in the front end of houses. You know how long that's been. We're not the same as we were before. So anything you can do to find a way to get out and give the opportunity to people is doing great. And you're tracking it well. You've got a good presentation. I can go to the library and without knowing, I can observe what's going on and see it's positive, and I hear about the libraries too. So keep up the.
I just have one last comment. I know that the county gave every entity in the county $145,000. I don't think the city collected theirs yet. And maybe you could talk to Mark Roloff and get him to put that towards the bookmobile, saying it's money he wasn't going to have to begin with.
Exactly.
Whatever it takes. For 6 years, I've been trying to get something over on that other side of town by Carl Traeger, so that they can basically access, you know, library. When I was growing up, we had the Southside Library, we had the main library, and we had bookmobile. Budget cuts, everything got stripped away. Well, it's time to bring some of this stuff back. You know, there's 66,000 people in the city of Oshkosh, and we should have more than one location for people. And he has to put in for his $145,000 yet. So I guess it can't be too important to him. Maybe you can sign that check over to you.
Sorry, we put that in the budget.
Our budget, they will be doing it in their budget section. On speak, what's on the council?
Any other questions for the Yep, thank you. Hearing none, we'll move on to the. Thank you. Thank you. I love it.
This is a little like, which is, we want to be diligent in making sure that the libraries are not charging for those. Really isn't. We want to make sure that when we say it is going to be about 3 million items from these locations, so we're on it. It says, yes, I mean, right? We have a 1%, less than 1%. Error, thank you. And so this is just for the agreement. I don't expect you to do a finish that, but I wanted.
Hearing no further questions, we'll move on. Discuss the extension program that's been in the water when they have a new.
I also wanted, I know, we've had some good partnerships with, the library. And I'm not doing that. International Footage. And we also did some checklist programming. Keep contacting me. On here, okay.
Even the app.
Okay. Well, let's keep on moving on. Okay, so, what I want to talk about, in my presentation is, something that all of us, especially educators, have to use here for a plan of work. And I know a couple months ago, when I talked, I kind of gave you an outline of what is a plan of work. This is actually my plan of work for the 2023. So, most of you, yeah, I know I didn't have a whole lot to, that's a lot of people, but, the handouts on that. And, I just want to kind of go through and summarize what our situation analysis is, our goals, objectives, and things that we have planned for this year. So, again, we're echoing a lot of the stuff that you guys just talked about. Young people, mental health, school violence, wilderness, and a lot of challenges that we're facing economically, racial inequality, and the whole, how it's hard to make some social connections. It's really a lot of that. The other thing about 4-H is, one of our little goals are, we'll do about saying, but, we learn by doing, so we can do it on the hand activities before. And so, we built our programming on the flagging model, which is on the last, one of the last pages of the other. It is the last page. And I know somebody who are very familiar with this already because we survey and we sent out to our law. And so if you look at the diagram, we've got a developmental context down at the bottom. How rich is our soil? The richer the soil, the better outcome as we go. We look at social, emotional, and cognitive programs, and then developmental outcomes, and then what are those long-term outcomes? What are they, academically, civic engagement, so that's kind of our etymology. You'll notice on the front page down towards the bottom, there is some demographic information that I listed. Basically, it's we're looking at the different school districts and how our membership is looking at parity and matches up with demographics of the other school districts. We have some obviously that definitely made some strides forward. Since we implemented the checklist program and getting into the actual school classroom, we've been able to enroll those students as 4-H members, make available to them some of the online opportunities to present it to them if they want to. So that would definitely help us reach some of those numbers. On the second page, we talk about the planning access, and so our main points or goals of the planning access are to further about underrepresented communities. We want to work on repositioning our work as culturally relevant programs. We're really focusing on new business models, which are designed to meet standards, diversity, and groups that we have. We into those classrooms and using different types of response has been real important. Historically, a 4-H club has been kind of a community club, we do one night out of the
A lot of them are kind of space in various rural communities. And that model still works for youth. We've got youth that are educating more. We've got youth where parents may be working extra jobs and it's not just for those in the community. So that's why you're trying to bring out into the school, in the single library, and doing that work. Make the club a little bit more accessible. Target audience, we're looking at, of course, our existing college members. We want to always increase our retention rate with our existing members to keep programming relevant and interesting to them. Our newest college members, we want to make sure that they're understanding our program. College have a lot of for that, so we want to mentor and bring those new college members so that they're successful. And then, of course, going out and making sure we're going to turn to the next page and have our program project model. This is based off of something that the Wisconsin 4-H program has put together, and there is actually a diagram of that in the planning model. So the more intricate, and not going to go through it all, a lot, but it primarily looks at what the state 4-H program in Madison, what we're all doing, like, yeah, phones, state content and program. These are all things that statewide we're working on to be able to reach our work. We do list some of our outcomes, participant outcomes in the short term. We want to make sure that we are providing some programs for them that sparks for them. The first we call is basically what I do. Try different activities and find something that we do something and I do. So we work on finding the sparks for you and what we do. Medium-term goals, opening accounts, discovery. We want to make sure that people continue to grow and thrive, that they show development of academic innovation, social confidence, personal standards, that standards that they hold themselves at. And then, of course, the long-term education. So if you take a look at the action plan, this is where we actually go to what do I do, and Sarah Thompson is our good educator of George, youth science. And so this really highlights the different things that we've been doing. We're focusing on two areas. One is expanding access, reaching out in the community, and the other is program quality. So my area of focus is going to be in program quality. And so some of the expected contributions and work that I do is identifying those areas that student program quality, evaluate identified staffing needs, occasionally we get some instance to be able to do extra programming in the community that helps us all out. Identifying training educational needs. Now we have a volunteer base. The volunteers are doing a lot of the work. They are using our clubs. They're project leaders, so they continue to do a lot of different skills, whether it's woodworking or sewing or about livestock or gardening or, we have about, 100 different areas that you can learn about. And so our volunteers are kind of working with those youth and teaching them those skills. So any training that they need is youth development classes, of course, keeping their youth safety, youth protection, and we are training down those areas. Providing that consistent professional board with employees to limit the program, and of course, overseeing policies. The Wisconsin program has I don't want to say a lot in a negative way, it's protection for the youth, but we have a lot of policies and guidelines. These are safe,
We have a lot of still real type of summer camps, things like that, so we want to make sure that we see comfortable with funding to our programming, and so I kind of oversee that we are using those guidelines. Some of those, we also do training with the youth leaders. We have a lot of middle school and high school youth leaders that are doing things like we are the counselors and their summer class. We go through all the training concepts. It's starting January, all the June, and the youth counselors help plan for us now. They are planning doing the lesson plans and activities with all the youth. They do. I don't want to say really do the work that they do. They're looking at the youth. They're not letting them just come on. We kind of should realize that interesting. So, youth leadership conversations is very important to our youth. We practice that for us. We have some of our younger groups that also have their program. It's a little one. In second grade, we like to set about overhead. So that our younger really help us with that. That's step up. And then also, I'll go out to different clubs, working on different areas, like we go from clubs what we would like to work on this year, whether it's expansion of learning club, whether it's finding activities for project management, or if they want more training their youth opportunities. Going out and working with those clubs. And then of course, creating community partnerships. The libraries are wonderful partnerships for museums, local reserves, environmental. Bringing in local artists, very educator that we can craft that we can our biggest collaboration recently, know about this, is the collaboration with food wise, horticulture, starting on that outdoor classroom. We've got the run out, and place for helping build that. And how many of us will be adding new ways that we have. That's really exciting. And then of course, another portion of that is involving the activities for common life, things which are probably and then monitoring. So we looking at our surveys, our flight surveys that we do here. We do a survey, we do a positive someday, summer camp survey. And always gathering information to look for areas that I can do. The youth and science educator, which is Sarah Thompson. Now her focus is going to be outreach. So Sarah is in the schools. She is doing some after school programming, where she is mostly STEM, science, religion, and learning, with those kids. And also in school classrooms, which we've mostly been using chip class, actually the chips in the classrooms, because it's just been such a fun thing for the kids. It's just actually bring it up. And then learn so much. And then learn what it is. So her focus is outreach and forming what we call these mini 4-H clubs, giving these youth the opportunity to do 4-H programming, learn more about the program, there, because some of these kids obviously and then just a brief summary on capacity building, internal action. So the plan of work is So this first year, we're looking at identifying new opportunities and starting to implement this strategy. Year two is going to be evaluating, okay, how are these strategies working, where do we proceed and improve. The third year, again, we're going to continue to evaluate, tweak and improve, and then use the data. How do we do it? Yeah. And it comes up with very so that's kind of that's kind of the I have working on a little bit of that. So I think
That's correct. So.
the other materials I can't, the next slide is kind of, report of things that were going on. Just to kind of summarize, put the house in the, we have to, so we offer these various states over to travel, to the point for our national conference, where it is more organizations to come and, get together. American Spirit is a trip that is neat, and people from all those, the historical areas. So we offer these, trips and programs to you, if they want to come. So that's what this is coming up there. Re-enrollment is another way we can see out the re-enrollment through the although everybody can enroll. We want to keep our re-enrollment series so that very November 20th, the federal decision, the rules of honor. If anybody has anything about 4-H, we all get to laugh in there. So we'll be a couple of people. We teamed up with the Health Department and we did a fine for a series. It was really successful. It's been fun. And what I found amazing was they all came up. Usually you start something, kind of like session 3, they all came to all of them. So that was really good to see. They had 7 chicks there, and they were good. Just, summarizing some of the studies we can do, and we work on the forums, and offices, and looking for program growth, and the end of September, we had our very first council and company conference. We had 13 contestants, about 15 total entries, and we did a section downside. We had some little companies, we had some really big companies. We had a lot of the really for the small consultants, just enjoy it, but you're not there because it's too long. So that was a really, so we basically all got the same kind of seeds in the spring and had to plant them. And so in September, we had to bring up a grew and raise them. They were awarded and so we are planning on coming up in November for people of the water school at the Public Museum. The program opportunity. They're going to be touring Dapper and Village and everybody remembers that program. And we'll be compelled back to so you can take them there if they want to. And then summer camp counselors, we start, we do summer camp in June, and we start recruiting already in December for camp counselors. So that's taking place in December. And then one more
the plans, have some guidance for teaching and, what they teach from them. Songwriting workshop with some professional musicians. We have neat animal project boxes, that'll focus on cooking with the animals up in the roots. And then of course, we will report to you. So, there's some fun things, which keeps me really busy, I enjoy it. But we'll see the work that is taking place, it's been really exciting.
I just want to state that the state of the county fair was amazing to see the youth 4-H who were there. And to once again see that positive impact. Those kids were not on their phone. They were interacting, they were playing cards, they were cleaning up. It was so much fun. Thank you.
So, all before I want to go to the room.
And we had 2 judges judging, and we started at 1 o'clock and we got done around 6:45. It was supposed to close at 7, and we barely made our time. But we took in over 400 entries, and it's just amazing to smile and, you know, you see the most of the blue ribbons. You know, they're so happy when they get that blue ribbon, you know. And one young guy goes, "Boy, I'm really gonna have to step up my game next year. There's a lot of competition, you know." You know, here's a 12-year-old kid, and he's already worrying about how he's gonna win something next year. You know, it just seems so good to see kids doing things like projects, you know, woodworking and building things rather than constantly playing on a phone. You know, you go there, there's nobody on an iPad. They're basically cleaning their animals, cleaning the box stall, cleaning up the waste. You know, it's just good, clean fun like we used to have years ago. You know, it's not all like on these phones. They bully people now 24 hours a day. You know, I mean, before you only got bullied at school, now you get bullied all the time. You know, so it just seemed nice to see kids actually interacting and having fun and having an iPad or, you know. So I enjoyed volunteering, and I definitely do it again.
And there are some of the youth project, record books out on the table, so feel free to pass them around. A lot of you put together a project record book, and it's kind of their whole year, document of record book. So, and I brought quiche, and tomato sauce. Have some of that, please.
Any other questions? And now we move on to report.
All right. If it's okay with the chair, I'll move the budget bulleted item to the top of my report, and then some of the other updates will make more sense with that. So for those on the committee, this is the color sheet that has the this is the nuts and bolts in our notations, and I apologize. I have just a couple things that I want to walk through as we crafted the budget. Just as Amy and I work very closely as we submit a budget to the executive's office, and this year we had an incredible opportunity that was presented to us that we could discuss. So I've been working, so I've been in this role for about 4.5 years, and I've been working about 3 of those years to have our the health and well-being educator to be a co-funded shared position. So the flat fee or the fixed fee position, like Dana and Todd and Mia and all of the other different educators. And probably 2 weeks before our deadline to turn the budget in, our news office and what that means is that, the, our table of our contracted services, was basically about $50,000 less, than what it was last year. So you taking that opportunity, you will note that overall our budget is about $30,000 less than the previous year because, we have all of, we're full staff. We have all of our full staff in 2024. And if anybody puts on me, oh boy, yeah, back on part of the way. So, which means that there are whole programs and stuff. So these are some things that we had that we're making some adjustments. So just starting, a couple of things are, continuing to adjust, our incomes. So our resources, looking at, in the areas that would be like, hey, what's going on here? We have a lot of very small items, so, line items that so a $200 increase is a large percentage, but it's actually a very small amount. So, in the areas of like, for example, program fees, that's one of the bigger, that's what we have a very explanation. That's because we are just matching up and right sizing with what our programs are. And, we also work with, the finance team to reallocate or we're doing real colors and better. That is, it's better for the books, better for the auditors. We're not planning on a set amount of income. We're not planning, and we have a more books so they can do it in real time. It makes a lot of sense for everybody. So that's the biggest thing with that. The other thing is now that data has being a third year with running for-year program expenses like and those are coming in. From here we have to manage AS. Then the second year we made mention of AS, and now we can get the numbers have much more double what Dina and Sarah are doing. Our these staff pay numbers, those are the numbers that part of the data plan or proposal. Those are given to us by HR, so those are included in there. The green is our travel. We're traveling green, so that's now split out. No major, we actually have some minuses in there or some decreases, and one of the other things that we need to buy on our two regional educators, so Stephanie Mars and Kevin Yard, to ensure that there was some consistency among the regional educators throughout the state. Their mileage expenses are now part of the state budget. So they have their mileage and related expenses now make it through the state expense reporting system, and they're each rated $5,000. So that's where that was another that we were able to show a decrease in the budget, but we didn't lose any value because that is a part of our focus. So that's a good thing. The other piece that we have in our office wellness, and I know that sometimes that each year we ask staff, okay, look at what's conferences, training, professional opportunities that we have. And again, there's a new starting, I believe, April of 2023. There was a new revamp of the resources. Each of our UW extension employees have access to $2,000 of professional development funding in a rolling 2-year period. So there's an opportunity there, which allow us to be able to reduce the past, but still getting the value. We have some things, so we still have to be here to leverage smaller pieces, or if there happens to be something that's a big one, then we can make sure that, those benefit from that. So, just, I don't know if I think it's clear, our partnership, the collaboration and partnership with the county and you guys is been very beneficial, and we've been, we're not losing anything in our department. So, what we have some opportunities to then, be able to be, fruitful spending that, that we've asked. Couple of things I do want to point out, if you look at in the white area, those are all our operating supplies. One thing that I wanted to give you, an update is, the computer software for 5006 on your form. You'll see now the amount is, one of the things that you'll see is the increase is up, and, it seems like it's a few percentage compared, comparatively. We are working with parts, we have some money in place, or at least one budget for it, to be able to look at, to improve our registration software, to one, better serve the public, and the reservations for, parks, shelters, to be able to do online things, and those things, would also include, conference center, reservations, room reservations, and more, user friendly in the process, and also on the back end to provide, because one of the key groups, especially here, is our internal county audience, so the council can work user friendly, and easier for our staff and all the industry. So, that number may shift a little bit because we're going to keep an option, but we're putting that, we put that in there and put it in. There's no sort of thing for free solution. So I wanted to share that. And the other is, there is an increase in 5359 registrations with other. So that is expensive. So that money that's coming in, in the yellow part. But it's money that's going out for summer camp, and this year we added Madison and that's what a lot of people who's a county in county. We got a partner and we're planning in the next year to offer purple outreach. They offered a backyard garden program, and Madison is going to be able to share some of those things. And they're looking at adding more of those types of offerings, either as a partnership or individually. So there's a course hobby also includes out in Union County to make sure that we have we can we bring in the registry and they're going. The other piece is with our proxy soil educator, dairy educator, and PJ Blade with our health and well-being educator. We have this opportunity to go and take that plan. We have a plan for that. Programs that we didn't have in 2022, and that was just starting to get to Katie and Stephanie, the dairy educator, started in June, July, respectively. So they haven't necessarily ramped up their outreach program yet. Just working on their network game. So some really cool things that are going on there. I'm looking to the other side, and I just wanted to point out that part of the, and it doesn't necessarily need to be a variance, but the 53580 small equipment tax, that's going to be possibly because of the this is the first year of implementation with IT, and we have seen the fees and doing more some of those pieces separately. So then that comes out. We do have some replacement funds if needed, because we have some aging equipment. These are the smaller pieces of support I don't know, I'm gonna guess that the manufacturer is including something that intentionally breaks about 18 to 36 months. So that you can keep replacing them. Headsets will last forever, like cameras, quick cell, all of that. And so having those things because, well, we are doing a lot of our in-person programming. We also still, there are still opportunities to do for planning and and I think if you, especially for, unsold financial security educator, Rent-Smart is offered regularly, statewide, virtually, and they have had more participants than they have ever had before for that program. And, you know, doing programming for wow, so the cool things there. And then the red line on the bottom, or near the bottom is the other contracted services. So that is, and I'm gonna, just a couple of things, the total funded positions. So we have a total of, total of 7 individuals. And 7 individuals, and 6 of them are co-funded, so there's a state partnership in addition. So there's a man. The full-time equivalents went from 44 8 to 46 2. So we have 3%, and that's just following some of the other, cost of living increases that we've gotten. Trying to keep that steady, and so that we can plan for it, the state side and the county side. But for 46 to 47, pretty good because the state managing all of the HR, benefits, leave, all of those pieces, and in return, county through the operating expenses that they have provided, those operating expenses to be able to both have office space and are able to keep their educational programs. So that is that's a big piece. One of the other things that is included in the contract is actually safety. So I have been so the Wisconsin Choice program came. They had a group of individuals that have been working together, and they provided report that provided guidance around foreign staffing, recommended guidance on foreign staffing to match up with the prime model that Dana was. So that's here with you. And so Winnebago County is identified as a large part. We have a large foreign program which is a high number of volunteers and members, and we have a large population relatively compared to other counties. Large part. So recommended staffing needs to have an educator. Data is the next forward. We make sure all the compliance and all of those and all of the things that here. And then the guy needs to have a second individual that works with others. That's their response. We have that in place. We also have, we're very blessed to have the county with support, so our administrative professionals able to provide those support that they need. Additionally, we have last year was very successful. We utilized the funds, so included in the contract that contract services is $24,000 for a summer, full-time summer now I'll be very optimistic. That is the max number. It's probably going to come in that, and we're going to get to what they actually use. And then there's also $7,000 for a max for American. was not to the piloting of the Miracle project and, was kind of boring. And if successful in the next year, there's an additional opportunity. And I wanted to make sure that they're, well, Dana and I have had some thoughts of, see what the guidelines are going to, the project they want to be. But I wanted to make sure that the funds are there, so that we could benefit. For two things, one, it would help them, but it's also helping them with value. All right, so my director. So I would like to present either any question. I'd love to turn it over,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chris, you guys can tell us, these membership and turned out copies of the
I have not. I mean, the reason, no, usually, I mean, my attitude is we'll figure it out. We usually figure out, we figure something out. Both to leverage, what we do have in the really for the response and utilize state funds. The other piece, for example.
This is for right now.
Okay. Todd, for example, Todd was part of the team, and I appreciate it. Todd was part of the team in traveling to New Orleans because he was part of a peer review and his first presentation was selected. The program area, the state program area, paid for the registration. There's another part of his state professional development that is picking up the airfare. And so, when using our already approved existing county budget dollars, I think we can provide for maybe one or vice versa for one of them. So we found all of the dollars that were needed to make sure that he's able to go. And he's going to present nationally about the Ready program that he has talked about a little bit, but he will also talk a little bit more. That's the Ready program, the financial literacy for inmates that are near release, provide that. So that is something that nationwide they want to know about. So they want him to, and a challenge to now to go down and share that with financial, the American Association of Financial Counselors. So.
Yeah, we also had money in the executive budget last year too for leadership training. So there's money available in the admin. I think we're putting in admin in the direct administration this year. For any department that has a training that comes up that they want to go to, that we have so people can get the training they need. We put a lot of employees this year through the Professional Development Academy leadership course that I put myself through to be a better leader, and it was very effective. We had a lot of department heads go through it and supporting staff. Chris, I don't believe we put anybody from extension through the PDA course yet, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah. So I think we got to get you on that list. Many other departments have. So there's other things that are available for them. Making sure that we get out and learn what the newest and greatest is going to be very important.
Yes, Doug. So currently, as it stands right now, the joint committee on employee relations met on Tuesday, and they passed the raises for all of the state employees except for UW system or UW employees. So we were excluded. From that motion. There are very reasons why the chair felt it was necessary to not allow. He didn't even allow that to come up for vote. So as far as that is concerned, that's slightly above my pay grade. There are conversations on what needs to happen or what the possibility for that passage for the Joker to be. I will say, and the general vibe is the impacts are morale is diving very quickly, among state staff, feeling very undervalued, compared to, compared to the other R1 institutions, Madison used to be the place. And we are now very average as far as pay and benefits compared to, other, Big Ten and other R1. That has been noted over the last 10 to 15. So morale is on the lower side, when it comes to, we feel value as an employer. By and we recognize that it's not our employer, but it's the system in place, and the impact that they have. So, that was actually on my list of things, just that, it stinks, and we are at the end of a lot of stuff, and we're just, what the interesting piece is that because it was approved in the budget, if and when it gets approved by Filter, there will probably be a lump sum retro, but it could create some mild financial headaches because if it crosses over into the next calendar year. On the utility side, it's still within the same fiscal year, but on the county side, with our county partnerships and our calendar year grants and contracts, especially for grant funded employees, there would be that trickle down impact of nuts, so we'll play that by ear. Again, that wouldn't be above my pay grade, but I will try to keep, at least the staff in the impact. Another thing that is out there, so because our food-wise, educators and food-wise team, their funding comes through, two different federal grants. There is potential, that we're aware of the fact that if there is a federal government shutdown, there could be a reduction because the funding, because of how the funding comes from the federal government, state government, whereas our extension funds that come from dual allotments is divided that or is like so if there is a government shutdown. I don't think layoff is a term, but it could impact the funding solved.
If I may, this is one of the reasons we've been trying to become a people first county. With our trying to do the 3 bites of the elephant, as Director Habit said. Make sure that we're getting people who's thought it. Make sure we're coming up with a new merit system, and then now going after this PTO to attract. A lot of people are putting their cuts on the backs of their people. We're trying to invest in our people to make sure that we can get good services. So I think, and some of Chris's challenges is that they're not all county employees, and you have a different set of rules. Sometimes that can create animosity. I apologize for that. There's what we have control over. We are absolutely trying to do our best, so we don't get the situation a lot of people are facing. With that, Mr. Chair, I do have an 11 o'clock I have to get to in my office. So if there's any other budget questions you have for me, I think Chris provided a great budget. Some of the savings with that cost sharing was what allowed us to invest a little bit more in libraries without impacting our mill rate. Still be able to lower mill rate while investing more.
So I think that wasn't here, but I think we got to think about how you can't get an oil change. And we want to make sure that these people are safe for our employees.
And to be honest, Steve, our staff, we have been watching we have been carefully monitoring the usage. And the other possibility is we may sunset that vehicle and not renew, not search for a replacement. Just because we've been using it less, there are some pieces that just we've overall been able to reduce our travel expenses. You know, it's matched up with first class in some cases. So we've looked at that, and we may, before we raise that, we probably would sunset the vehicle, or let, you know, another department have an opportunity, or, you know, go to surplus with it. So,
I don't think you're gonna make it. I wish I could. I found one that my vehicle all along the way.
Which is why we gotta look at what we need and always understand if you buy something, doesn't mean it's ongoing maintenance with it. Where do we invest? I think, we've done a good job.
Well, we could come and talk about it. I think, you know, always welcome to come. We appreciate you coming up whenever you get time.
Absolutely. All right, that's a good day. I don't think I can do that. I think that would be right. I do have to make sure I get that county boardroom a little work. All right.
the only other item that I wanted to cover, staff and statement, is I just wanted to share and provide an update that, in November 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, we do have a number of staff who are going to attend a Safe by All Colleague conference, on the UW-Madison campus, and our administrative professionals, all of our county staff have been invited to participate. Registration just closed, so we're double checking to see what schedules. We may have some partial closures to the office we will announce and or have signage, but it's one of those pieces where it's valuable professional development and networking time. And I want to make sure that all of our administrative staff, if there's time to attend, is invited and the registration fees are covered, to be able to attend. We just have to do some of our already existing travel, to cover mileage, or we haven't done for this year. We will send out notices out for this great opportunity provided by the UW partners.
Any other questions, Chris? Hearing none, we'll move on to, UW-Madison.
Thank you. There is more background work to be done, and once that has been accomplished, they will be getting in touch with us to say when the next meeting will be. So, no update.
Thank you. Next we'll go to, announcing upcoming events at the county board meeting. And you'd like something to announce? Done, government and committee members? Schedule the next meeting will be set for October 19th, 2023.
So that's actually Tuesday.
On November 16th.
Yeah, number 6. All right, so we put it, everyone found it. If we're good, I can put that in there.
We did it.
Yes.
November 16th will be our regular.
Is that entertained on one?
Second.
All in favor?